Hey everyone, today I am here on just kind of a random roadside outside of Lake Tahoe, and so I'm going to shoot a very short video here. I'm going to walk about 100 feet on the roadside and just show off the absolute amazing amount of diversity of flowers that we can see here. So here, let's go check it out. Alright, so the first things we have are these wonderful lupines, and I'm not going to be able to tell you what species that is without dissecting the flowers, but it's a beautiful one. One thing to note about when you're trying to identify a lupine is you want to dissect a flower because you're looking at a couple things typically. You're going to be looking, let's see if I can make this work. So this top petal right here is called the banner, and you want to check the back of that and see whether it's hairy or not. You want to look on the back of the flower to see if there's a spur, which is a little projection coming off the back of the flower. And then you want to take these two keel petals right here and remove those and look at this little part that's called the sickle. So that part will have little hairs or not across the whole thing or across part of it on the front or the back. And so you want to take note of that and then bring that back to your key and run it against things like how hairy the leaves are, or the habitat, like growing here in this kind of wet spot on the side of the road is really important stuff to note. And you should be able to get to the point where you can key at least some lupines. They're a pretty hard one to key. So another plant here is the this is Monardella odoratissima. This is the mountain pennyroyal or mountain coyote mint, and it smells absolutely wonderful. I'm actually standing in a patch right now so I can smell it, and it's really intoxicating. The flowers are really cool if you look at them up close. Each one of these is like a little cluster of flowers with 5 petals and exerted flower parts there. Pretty beautiful plant. We have other Monardella species that grow at lower elevations, more pink colored. This one's pretty much the only one we get at the high elevations. This plant right here is Castanea miniata, I believe. I'm notoriously bad with Castanea species, so I may be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure it's miniata because of these yellow bracts sticking out of the flower, the sort of like sparse leafiness of it along the stem, and the lack of any prominent hairs or woolliness on the leaves here. So that's what's pointing me to this being the miniata. But paintbrushes, I hope you're familiar with them. They're actually partially parasitic, so they are attached to the roots of some of the other plants in this area and getting a little bit of their nutrients from them. Over here, we have a delphinium species, another one that's very, very difficult for me to identify, but this is in the buttercup family, and you'll see it's got these beautiful 5-petaled star-shaped flowers, the little white projection on the top. That's one of the problems with being on the roadside. You get a little bit of extra noise there. And check out that spur coming off of the back of the flower on the top there. So that's a good illustration. It's remaining on the flower when it's open, but you can really see it there. And these are the leaves of like a delphinium. Most delphiniums have leaves kind of like that. They're palmate leaves, highly divided palmate leaves. So yeah, one of the larkspurs, delphinium species, buttercup family. All right, let's see what else we can find. All right, we're in kind of like a wet area on the side of the road here. So this is a pretty ubiquitous shrub in the higher elevations in wet areas. This is the mountain alder. And, we have 2 species of alder. Well, I think 2 species of alder in our area. But this being one of them that occupies the higher elevations. And one thing to notice to tell if you have a mountain alder here, which by the way is Alnus incana, I believe, is see how the leaves are toothed? There's all these little big teeth right here, and then each of those teeth has smaller teeth along it. So yeah, it has teeth that are toothed. That's one way you can tell. It kind of grows a little smaller than the white alder at the lower elevations, and always in a wet area. And these are actually have a symbiosis with a kind of bacteria which fixes nitrogen into the soil, which gives the plant something, some nutrients. It won't be able to take in the atmospheric nitrogen from the air on its own, so it kind of conscripts these bacteria by offering it safe haven near its roots, and then those bacteria will take the nitrogen from the air and fix it into the soil into a form that this plant and other plants for that matter can use. So pretty neat ecology there. Here on the side of the road we have a plant in the rose family. Is called Drymicalis lactea. It is called the wood beauty, and You know, I don't have too much to say about it other than when you're identifying these, you want to pay attention to the relationship between the size of the petals and the sepals and the leaves at the bottom, how many teeth they have, or if they have teeth that are toothed, and then the general form of the plant. So this one's pretty erect here. So if it was spreading, it might be a different species or a different subspecies. And, you know, there's some more larkspur in there. And this is a different lupin species. And again, I don't know my lupin, so I don't know which one, but it's certainly different. And then in the back, we have a nice little collection of monkey flower. And, you know, I'm not 100% sure whether this is the Tillings monkey flower or the seep monkey flower. It's certainly growing in a seep, but I believe one of the diagnostic features of the Tillings monkey flower is the fact that the throat in the center of the flower is closed. You know, those aren't that close, so maybe it's the seep monkey flower. But certainly, it's another yellow flowered one that grows in wet areas. Monkey flower is pretty ubiquitous all around California and all elevations. Tillings would be at higher elevations, and the seep monkey flower pretty much found at all elevations in our area. Another plant to notice here, this is Senecio triangularis. This is in the aster family. You see it's got the composite flowers and it has very few ray flowers, and called triangularis because of this leaf shape here. Let's see if I can get a good one. Well, not a great one because it's been eaten by insects, but generally on this side it's solid. It's got kind of a triangle shaped leaf. So Senecio triangularis. A lot more monkey flowers down there. We have our corn lily, Veratrum californicum. Not flowering quite yet, but a very common plant at the higher elevations in the Sierra here. And this will eventually have a really beautiful flower spike with these big old white flowers with kind of like greenish, yellowish middles. They're quite enjoyable, especially this can fill up like an entire field, and it gets it's a sight to behold. Another plant also found at lower elevations. This is Fendler's meadow rue, another plant in the buttercup family. And one interesting thing to note about this plant, it's already in seed here. Here, there's the seeds. Oh, here we go. Check that out. There are the flowers. So this is a plant that is dioecious, and what that means is that they're separate individual male and female plants. So this one right here is a male plant, and you see it's got the filament and the anthers right there containing the pollen, so that designates it as the male plant. And let me look around real quick. Oh yeah, here we go. This is what the female plant looks like. So it's got the stigma, which is receptive of the pollen, and this is where the seeds will be born. So yeah, separate individual male and female plants. That's called being dioecious, and opposed to a flower which has both male and female parts, like this lupin here. That's called being that's called being monoecious. And yeah, let's see what else. We got another kind of aster here. Not sure. Looks like an erigeron maybe, but it's a really hard group to work with. So I'm not going to go any further than that. It's in the aster family, composite flowers. So ray flowers on the outside and a bunch of little discoid flowers on the inside. So this is made of you know, hundreds, if not thousands of flowers. It's not just a single flower, it's a composite flower. It's something that's, you know, common of all members of the aster family. And let's see, what do we got down in here? Well, we certainly have quite a bit of butterflies, which I seem to have disturbed. I think they're probably getting minerals and nutrients from this dried up roadside here. Little blue ones, little checker spots, I believe. And what do we got down here? Well, we got Brewer's Angelica breweri. So in the carrot family, it's got the umbel that's characteristic of the carrot family. And then it's got these pretty highly divided, well, highly compound leaves. You know, they're pinnately compound with the main stalk. Got twice pinnate, I should say, because they have these two projections coming out this side, and then the leaves are coming off of those projections. And look at those kind of swollen sections. That's something really common in Angelica. What else do we got? More lupins. We got more senecio, that yellow plant in the foreground. Oh, look at that. That's a treat. We have a Planetothera species. I think I'm pronouncing that right. One of our orchids growing just here in the mud in the darkness. And I'm not exactly sure what species this is, but yeah, it's always nice to see an orchid. Maybe Sparsiflora, Planetothera Sparsiflora, but don't quote me on that. And then there's some little fragile fern, Chrysopteris fragilis. And yeah, that might be all I have to talk about today. Oh, no, it's not, because we have another little monkey flower. Check out this one. Oh yeah, that's Erythranthe everescens, which is very closely related to another Erythranthe called Erythranthe lewisii. In fact, they were just split from each other in 2013, so your Jepson manual is out of date. But yeah, so there's genetic differences, but in the key, it splits over the flower color, with Erubescens having pink flowers and Lewisii having pretty deep magenta flowers. But and this is Erythranthe, formerly Mimulus, because the pedicel here, the stalk that the flower is on, is longer than the calyx, which is this like tube part right here. And if it was Diplacus, which is the other genus that came out of Mimulus, the pedicel would be smaller than the tube. So that's one easy way to tell the difference between Erythranthe and Diplacus. Flower about to open up there. Gorgeous, gorgeous monkey flower of the higher elevations. Kind of pinkish, got a little bit of like a yellow runway for pollinators in there, and then all of the floral parts are oppressed or held close to the top of the flower there. So yeah, thought that was pretty neat. I think that's going to be all for today, but yeah, beautiful. I don't know, what was that, like 25 different plants or something, just on this little stretch of roadway. So get out to the mountains and enjoy some of the wildflowers, and post your pictures in our forum and visit our Facebook page. And once again, thanks for watching.